I think the reason, um, when I had two older brothers growing up, Nathan and Noah both, so that's why I got Nian, because Ian got an N put on the front of it. So, um, but my oldest brother, was listening to, Boy, War, October, Unforgettable Fire. So this is probably back in like '85, and I would like lay in the hallway with my head down at his door, listening to this music that I was just like kind of mesmerized by. And after we would get out of church, we would go out to the minivan, waiting for my parents would still be in church for a while, and my dad was a preacher, so um, and and he would just blast like War and Boy, just and and so that's where I kind of, I think, got the feeling for the band as something special or different. And um, and then when I was like 12-ish, 13, that's when the Joshua Tree came out. And so I remember where I was riding in the back of our old broken down Oldsmobile when they're like, oh, here's the first single from U2's Joshua Tree, and With or Without You came on, and I was just sort of like, transported to a different place, with that song. So that's sort of where my own fandom came to life, apart from being just like my brother's band. So, got into Joshua Tree, and Rattle and Hum came out, the movie, and all that stuff. And, in retrospect, Rattle and Hum is an album with some incredible material on it and some with not incredible material on it. So if I'm looking for rhythm and blues music, I don't go to YouTube. So
There you go.
so Oxygen Baby hit right in that sweet spot for me. I was let me think, 16.
Yeah.
So I remember I would come home every day from school, and if I had any mail, there would be like my mom or dad would have left it on the stairs up to my room, and I walked in, and there's my Rolling Stone that laying on the stairs, right? And I looked at it, I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is. And I like took a double take, and I'm like, what the? That's U2. And here's U2 with black leather and wraparound shades, and the whole thing. And I was like, what? And this was like the making of Octane Baby right before the album came out. And I had just moved to Wisconsin from Michigan, and I went back to visit Michigan, my friends there. And when we were there, there was a good radio station that you get from Detroit after like 11 o'clock.
Okay.
And so it switched from like rock music to good alternative indie stuff at like 11 or 12. And they were going to play the full album at midnight, but on the release date. And so I took my friend's boombox, and I got a blank tape. And as soon as it came on, I recorded the whole thing. And to me, it was like those first strains of Zoo Station pretty much made you just sort of your jaw drop and think like, what the hell is going on? You just went from Angel of Harlem to Zoo Station, and I listened to that recorded tape for all the way back home to Wisconsin until I could get to the store to get the cassette and then the CD and all that stuff. So it was a very pivotal moment of my YouTube fandom, but just music in general. It was kind of ground shifting.
Cool. Yeah, it's see, you said you were 16 when this came out. I was, one of my favorite bands dropped an album when I was 16, and it was not their best album, so that kind of let me down a little bit like that. But
Who was that?
It was "Stand on the Shoulder of Giants" by Oasis. See, I'm a big Oasis fan. I think I've mentioned that like 8 times on this podcast already with the 4 album reviews and the song review, and but they dropped their fourth.
Worst bands to be fans of.
They're underrated bands in the US.
You were 16. What year was that?
2000. So,
okay.
Yeah, I was born in 84. So I just turned 40 this year, and my sister was the same thing with music too, because I had to share a room with her when I was younger, because we only had 2-bedroom house, and I remember she would be playing like Madonna and Vogue on the radio all the time, and this will always stick with me. I remember I was sick with tonsillitis, and she was sick too, but she was trying to learn Vogue, and anytime I hear the words Billie Jean, the first thing that comes into my head is not Billie Jean's Not My Lover. It's on the cover of a magazine.